Okay. All right, Amira. First of all, how are you? That's something I like to ask people. I like to start at the top. How are you doing? How have you been? Because I know it's been a wild few years for everybody
Oh
on
my
this
God.
planet.
It has been. I think that the last couple of days, first, thank you for asking. The last couple of days, I've just been trying to recenter a little bit before jumping right back into working and writing. So it's been a good pause for like the last 2 days.
Yeah. And Amira, you were really busy. And before we get into everything, I just would like to start off like, who is Amira? Where is Miss Amira from?
I am from Stone Mountain, Georgia. I say Atlanta because no one knows where this is, but I was born and raised in Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Nice, nice. So you are a musician, you're an artist, and you actually tap into a lot of different things. So what was that like growing up for you? What was the household like? What was the music like for you in your household?
My house is definitely a really creative one, but we're all in this like back and forth dichotomy sort of thing where like we all had a very business traditional side and then a very, very creative side that we let loose here, right? Or that we find outlets for. So I was pursuing a law degree. I was going to be an attorney like from the time I was 8. I was like, that's what I'm
Oh,
going to be. And so that was always what the professional focus was. And then I'd find any chance that I could to sing, to compete, to share art and writing with people, which I always give a shout out to my dad because, he always was there to help teach me, to guide me. I was the first and only vocal coach, those sorts of things. So we had a weird house where it was like everyone is an artist and everyone has to go suit up at the same time. So I think that has its benefits when you're on the business side of things, but when you just want to let loose and keep going, keep creating, you don't want to suit up at that point.
wow, that must have been really interesting. Like everyone in the household's an artist. And was there any competition? Did you feel the pressure growing up in a household when everyone's an artist and kind of tapped in?
No, because it's different mediums, right? My sister's a sculptor, my mom's a painter, and then my dad sings and writes. And so everyone's kind of in a different place. And it's like, look what this thing inspired me to do.
Yeah.
So and our opportunities to showcase were different as well.
I love it. That's like the most creative family. I feel like you guys need a show.
Oh
That's
my gosh, put a camera in here. Like, let's
I
go.
know that's amazing. Well, speaking of show, you were on MTV's Becoming a Pop Star and you made it to the season finale. You were on that stage top two. So for you, what was the feeling like just knowing that you made it that far? And what was the feeling like for you standing on that stage waiting to hear your name?
It was such a surreal, like out of body moment. And I'm telling y'all, TV magic, it's a lot shorter than it was in person. So the wait is a little longer and you're standing there just like I was praying. You can see a little clip of it. I was clutching my chest. And even though I got second place, I still that feeling still stayed with me because going through the 5 episodes, that journey, everything you see on screen, all the stuff that you don't see on the screen, it was so much growth and so much time to grow into myself, not only as a singer and a writer, but as someone directing my vision in music videos and working with professionals very quickly. And knowing that this is something I can really do and be successful at. That was such a transformative journey.
Yeah, it was such a cool show. I loved watching it. I love watching you and your journey. And for you, you represent so many different communities, the Black community, the Muslim community, the hearing impaired community. So for you as an artist, what was that journey like for you? Kind of like, creating your own lane on this brand new show. And this is season one, being someone who can, and I always say representation matters. And to
Yeah.
have someone like you on television, like what's that journey like for you? Is it a lot of pressure to be like, okay, I'm here, but I'm representing almost everybody?
I know, like from the first episode, I always said I have a lot of communities and a lot of people riding with me, and I would say that a lot because it would not only be something that I wanted to signal to others that I'm here for you, but it's a humbling thing and it's a reminder that this isn't just about me, and this is a chance to like make a positive change starting with this show and hopefully going into other shows and other seasons. And so every single decision I made was very intentional, whether it was my lyrics, you know, the message that I needed people to hear that week, how I moved, the way I dressed, how I interacted with the cast and the crew. Everything was grounded in, is this something that would make me proud? This community, that community, my family, all of them.
Yeah, well, girl, you made me proud. So
You know,
killing it. So I know the show got most of their contestants from TikTok, and it was a really popular show on TikTok. And you have said in other interviews that the TikTok community, especially the hearing impaired and hard of hearing community, has really embraced you. So what have the interactions been like for you with them on TikTok?
I've just been blown away. Like I got my tears out. I hopefully at this point, because it just meant so much to log in and to see just such overwhelming support. I'd be scrolling on my For You page and I'd see another person who was like, go vote for this girl, you know, this, that, the other thing. I didn't even know the person, you know, but it was just like, you know, they were saying she's here for us. I talked about before in other interviews how a group of several creators from Deaf Talk created an interpreted version of Let My Music Play. And it just brought me up all the time and made me just want to keep going every week.
Oh, that is so lit. I love that. And TikTok, I love TikTok because like you said, the people are just so supportive. They're going to rally for you in TikTok. So again, I think that's really dope. And like I said, you represent so many different communities, like a Muslim woman on TV, a Black woman, a woman from the South. I'm like, she is amazing because I felt like, again, representation matters. And to have someone young look at you and be like, oh, wow, here is someone I can look up to. For you growing up, did you have anyone like that you felt like you can look up to? Or did you feel like, you know what, I'm going to create my own lane?
I feel like it's a mix of both. When you're coming with from so many different places, you try to find inspiration in a lot of different kinds of people. And I think that's why so much of my message has been about not only including the communities I come from, but making people who feel like an outsider, who feel different, really feel like you can come to this little club right here, you know. I was a big Earth, Wind and Fire fan as a kid, like just every weekend watch their whole concert series because I felt like they were, you know, they look like me, but they're doing something so innovative even for this time that people are still studying now. And then I would branch off into everything from like dubstep, electronica, violin, obsessed with like Lindsey Sterling, all these different things. Cause it was just like, what is the world trying to say through music, you know?
Oh yeah, that's really cool. And I know you say that you like genre bending and bridging your music, bridging the communities together through your music. Talk a little bit about that. Like, what is genre bending?
So it's so funny because I always said I was trying to figure out how to describe to them my genre during my first interview when I literally first landed. And then they were like, you know, so where are you from? What genre of music do you do? And I'm like, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm a genre bending artist. And it hit me in an instant because I'm like, that's it. Because I'm not trying to like shift things into something that they're not, break them. I'm just trying to get things to be a little bit meeting in the middle, you know? So it's like, can country come with some soul, with a little funk, you know? Like, what can we do to like marry these things and in turn bring people who respond from different communities into this one song in this one space?
Yeah, I totally feel that. I love it. I love anyone who can tap into different genres because again, like, you know, we don't have to just tap into one thing. We can do different things. And I feel like that brings more of an audience to you. So that's why I'm big on like saying that you represent so many different communities because you do, but it's also bringing a different audience to you, which I love. So I feel like, you know, we've come a long way as far as having different representation on screen, behind the screen. Do you think that we've come a long way? Do you think that we have a long way to go?
I think both are true because it's like, I'm an optimistic person and a realistic person. It's like, if we don't look at how much we have done to get like where we are, we're just going to burn out. If every accomplishment is not celebrated to the fullest, how are we supposed to have the momentum and energy to go forward? So I'm really proud of where we have come. But I do think that now it's time to go past the surface, right? And what I think that a lot of TikTokers are trying to do, take the representation on the surface and now make it more deeply ingrained, make it inclusion and not just, okay, here's some Black kids, here's some Desi kids, different people. No, it's like, okay, and this is culturally competent and they are comfortable and the makeup artists are here, like, and they can do their makeup properly, all the different things.
They can do everybody's hair. We can all get it
Oh
together. We can do everybody's makeup. We can all match.
Please light the set properly. Like,
please
don't have the kids there. Have the
lighting. Please, so everyone, we all can be great and look the same. So for you, what artists are you into right now? Because you are such a dope artist and you're a music, you're a songwriter, but who are you tapped into? Who are you listening to?
My playlist is a mess because
it's a good thing.
Like, it's a lot of fun, it's anything from like Parliament, like back in the day, to like Aurora. And then we have like Burna Boy, Ira Star, Bring It Back to Kendrick. It's just like anybody, like it's more about, am I feeling what you're saying? What was the intention of this song? I don't like describing a song as not having value. I don't think that's right. Every single piece has value. But what I mean is, like, is this trying to say something that maybe hasn't been said yet? Mm-hmm. And all of those artists that I spoke about talk about everything from like nature to reconnecting with your inner child, or, political issues, or all these different things, that in a beautiful way.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's cool to be eclectic because that means you can tap into so many different things. And everyone you listed, I was like, all right, yep. We
could jam.
We're here, right? Because that's what my playlist, they all are so different. And I know sometimes when my friends hear it, they're like, oh, you're different. I'm like, yeah, I just like different types of music. So that's why, like, I love speaking with you, because that's why I love the word genre bending, because it's completely different. So that's why I'm like, that's your word. Make sure no one takes that.
Let me get a registered trademark real quick.
Yes, that is your word. For you, what do you want the audience to know about the hearing impaired community, the hard of hearing community? Maybe something they don't know.
I think, it's not a monolithic experience. I was just speaking to my sister about this today. There's a surgery that I can get that would help me to transfer some of the sound from the hearing side to the deaf side. But I'm almost scared to get it because this is also a piece of my identity, right? How I hear the world and process things around me. So I don't want people to look at deafness or being hard of hearing as something that just needs to be fixed, right? If you want to use hearing aids or different things like that, that's a choice and that's beautiful and that's your experience. But we're all in a different boat and we're all trying to come together and have camaraderie and support each other.
I absolutely love that. And I feel like that's educational because you're educating a lot of people, especially on TikTok. Because, TikTok, there's people who, they're educators, but they give a lot of facts. So I feel like that's something really dope. Something dope that I heard you say, especially in your music, you do a thing where you add certain textures or sounds so that way everyone can vibe to your music.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So thank you for asking about that. So in my music, when I was like a kid, the first song that I really experienced that with was Lights by Ellie Goulding. And so I was listening to it on some headphones and it was going do, 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 right? And I felt it in both ears and I literally cried because it was just like, I feel like I'm experiencing this song in a different way, which is what got me into things like electronica, dubstep, and all these other things, because there is so much texture and it's intentional. And I think that that's what's missing in a lot of music, that texture, because deaf people feel music.
Yeah.
And that's how you get the message of it. So I really do want my songs, and that's why I haven't just like rushed and put anything out, because I will have stuff out this year, but I'm working on building the track to mimic the meaning of the song as well, so that people can feel it and hear it.
That's amazing. Thank goodness for you. That's dope. Amira, thank you so much. But let people know where they can find you on social media, if you are on social media, and where they can stay tuned for your projects.
Well, I am Amira Unplugged, so Amira and then Unplugged, on all platforms, primarily TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And I have my website, and I'm going to have a subscriber list up. I have one up now, but I'm going to update it tonight, if anyone is interested in getting release information and things like that.
Nice. Amira, thank you so much. Thank you for joining. You got to come back. We have to come and kick it and talk more about music. Definitely come back and kick it with us. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. You're super dope. You're a great interviewer, by the way. Seriously.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I get nervous sometimes when I talk to people.
No,
I always just want to make sure I make you feel comfortable.
So comfortable. It's such thoughtful questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Amira. You got to come back. I'm requesting this. I'm like, she has to come back so we can keep talking. Thank you, Amira. I appreciate you so much.
Have a good one.
You too, hon. And we'll let you guys know. I'll send this to everyone when this is posted and all that great stuff.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, boo. Have a good one.